about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics. Around there, YouTube, it is Charles here. Today I want to quickly talk about Wonder Woman number 21. This is number 821 chronologically, and this is a relatively new series for me. I had previously read single issues of Wonder Woman here and there I pick up at the comic book store, but I didn't start getting into it chronologically and regularly until issue 800 when they reset it, and I have not been disappointed thus far. There is a lot of lore and a lot of history built up from over 800 issues, so I am just not going to be familiar with a lot of the names and a lot of lore, so you have to forgive me. That's why this is going to be a short review. But it is an enjoyable book nonetheless. This is part 2 of a 2-book arc that is called Murder on Mount Olympus. She is summoned by the gods to solve a murder. Ares has been killed, they think, by her mother. His body and the weapon was found in her chambers, but Wonder Woman thinks there's more to it, and in the initial conflict, Batman gets struck down by a bolt of lightning. And in essence, his life is ransom in order to give Wonder Woman time to figure out what happened. And you would think something so monumental, you wouldn't want to rush the judgment. But that is a plot point in here that is picked back up on, and the ticking clock element, while nonsensical, was actually a way for the eventual killer to try to cover his tracks. Very, very interesting book, fun book, great action of her dealing with the different gods, shaking them down, trying to figure out what's going on. For instance, one of them is very vain. And so what she does is when he refuses to answer her questions, she takes off her tiara and simply throws it as kind of a boomerang and lets him know that unless he answers her by the time it comes back, she will not catch it. And it will hit him in his face. And he is just so freaked out because he keeps saying, I must remain gorgeous. I must remain good looking. And so she uses his vanity against him. And in the panels here, you see the stress and, the growing agitation of this character, fearing for the loss of his vanity, which in essence is part of his life. Another one who forms the weapons of the gods, she goes to question him, and she knows that he only really responds and respects violence, so she brings violence to him. And that's how she deals with him, and the way that she navigates the different gods, using their own hubris against them, I thought was a clever plot device. And then we find out that the person who set up this whole charade, this whole sham of an investigation, ended up being the killer himself, because Ares, the god of war, had become empathetic, which was seen as a weakness by his father, who is portrayed as a chauvinist, a sexist, who has not only disdain but fear of women. And he held it against Wonder Woman that he felt like she cursed him with empathy. And, he really wanted to punish her as well as, get rid of his son, who he thought was poisoned, with empathy. And so a lot of deep stuff going on here, a lot of different things, a lot of themes of not just women's empowerment, but, the integration of ancient gods into the DC universe, her friendship with Batman, her still grieving the death of Steve Trevor. A lot of different threads going on here. And I think this is a nice little 2-book arc that you can get into and enjoy even if you're not following along with Wonder Woman. One complaint I've had recently with Wonder Woman is that there's just so much spread out throughout so many books, and they really depend on you reading the previous book. But number 20 and 21, a simple 2-book arc with a lot of lore, but it's still accessible. So I highly recommend you check it out, local comic book store. And if you're in Wyoming, there's no better place to get it than where I got mine at. Spellbound Apothecary and Entertainment, located in Eastridge Mall. And if you're in Wyoming and you order from them, and you spend over $35, you get free shipping statewide. So check them out if you're in Wyoming. I will see you next time. Until then, keep reading them books. I'm out.